What? Daywalker 9, you just made the clip. My DPS is better. I wasn't even buffed up. Alright, that is the build. Kind of not the best showcase of what it can do, but it can definitely do more than that. Alright, this is a Stamplar. Stamplars generally, well, they can do a lot of things. Stamplars are better at DPS than they are at tanking, I would say, but they can tank pretty well. That's simply because of the passives. The passives like this Piercing Spear increases your crit damage by 10% and increases the damage done against blocking targets by 10%, so you're good at cutting through those tanky dudes. This is good for tanking. Yeah, gain minor protections. Gain minor protection for 6 seconds after activating an Adric Spear ability. That's pretty good. When you deal damage with an Adric Spear ability, with your jabs, you deal an extra big chunk of damage, whether or not you're a Magic Templar or Stamina Templar. You're going to deal a decent amount in Burning Light. And Balanced Warrior increases your damage across the board by 6%, your weapon damage, and your spell resistance by 2640, which is why Stamplars make excellent werewolves. This passive right here, you get an extra 6% weapon damage. Dawn's Wrath, you don't really need this, because you don't want the Power of Light to have an extra duration. You want that to be a short duration, so don't put points in this passive. Or wait, that doesn't affect backlash anyways, never mind. But yeah, you don't use any of these other skills, you just use Power of the Light, backlash, so you don't need passives in Enduring Rays, you just need these last three. Casting a Dawn's Wrath ability while in combat gives you 6 ultimate, that can happen once every 6 seconds, and casting that will give minor sorcery to you and your group members for 20 seconds. Increases the cost of your magic, stamina, health, and ultimate abilities by 5%, which is rather nice. And then this tree, the Restoring Light tree, is all about healing. It's all about just helping your healing out. And the really nice thing about Stamplar, really maybe the best thing about Stamplar, is the Purge. Extended Ritual. Go with this morph. Trust me, go with this morph. It's going to purge off 5 effects. There's no other purge like it in the game. The synergy for this purges off everything. If you find that on the ground, your buddy put it down, take that. Take that. If you're needing a purge, that's going to purge off absolutely everything and heal you for a tiny, tiny bit. Totally worth it. This tree also comes with Repentance, which you maybe saw me use at the very end there. It's a free cast. It's a free cast, Repentance. Costs you nothing, gives you health and stamina when you consume those corpses. Having it on the bar increases your health, magicka, and stam recovery by 20%. So it's a good idea to have that on the front bar, not the back bar, because you want to stay on the front bar. I chose to go dual wield two-hander on this build, and I put Rending Slashes from the dual wield tree here. Power of the Light is like the first thing I hit the enemy with, and I follow that up with a Binding Javelin to CC them, so they were running at each other, or he's running away. I hit him with Power of the Light, which is going to start copying all the damage I'm about to do, and 6 seconds later it goes off, and it's a bunch of burst. It's a bunch of burst, you get that all to go off. And then Binding Javelin knocks them down. Great CC. CC on command, it's great, I love that skill. It's just the funnest part about being a Templar, right there. And then it's jab, just jab. It's too easy, really, really too easy. If you can, at all, you're trying to use Caltrops. Caltrops will, it lasts for 10 seconds, it debuffs enemies in a big area here. And being in here, anything in here has a major breach on it, reducing their armor, which procs your sets you're using, I'll tell you about in a second. But it also snares the enemy by 50%, which is a big deal. That's a big deal. Let's see. Need to move. But restoring focus is your armor buff. Vigor for your heal, you need resolving vigor, and rally, you can afford to go rally instead of forward momentum because you can use extended ritual for snare removal. And for another heal, you can hit your ultimate massive heal here from Remembrance, which is fairly cheap. It's like 118 ultimate, and it's a great heal. That's a fantastic heal. Heal you and your buddies that are near you, give you major protection. You can't move while you're hitting it though, so that sucks. You stand in place and you just sort of heal back to full. It helps you reset the fight though, and right after that you're gonna want to dodge because someone's waiting for that effect to end so they can hit you with some CC or something. So that's the back bar, right? You got all that stuff. Caltrops is there to debuff. You saw the rotation I showed you. Power the light, hit them with jabs, rending slashes, jab, 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 and then execute them with empowering sweep. It's the cheapest ult. It's so cheap. It's 71 ultimate, and it hits like a Dawnbreaker. Hits like a truck. It's going to give you empower for the duration, increasing the damage of your light and heavy attacks by 40%, and pulsates a little bit of damage around you after the initial attack, so you continue to do damage afterwards. So the sets, the reason we're using Caltrops is to proc this Ravaging set. That's 584 weapon damage when you get all 4 stacks, and you can get a stack every second. So at 4 stacks, for the next 10 seconds, you're dealing a lot of damage from this set alone. The set comes with 1 piece of crit, which I really like. I'm getting more crit here from Slimecraw, buffs all my damage by 5%. So 1 piece crit here, damage 5%, Ravaging 1 piece crit, max health, weapon damage, 584 weapon damage once it's all procced up, and then Automatons is the other 5-piece set. And I'm in 5 medium, by the way. This is 5 medium. 2 heavy, reinforced for extra resist. You want as much resistance as you can get. Most of the rest of this is Impen. I've got 1 piece of well fitted, which I do suggest. 1 piece well fitted is nice, helps you dodge, helps you not run out of stam, but you do need the Impen. So get as much Impen as you can. Definitely do the 2-piece reinforced. Stats just like this. Impen, 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 heavy reinforced, Impen, well fitted, reinforced on the heavy pieces. And then for the jewelry, you've got 1 piece swift, which is important. You need to be quick. You need to be quick. You need to be quick. Even though you're in 5-piece medium, and this guy's an orc, I do suggest orc for the speed and the damage from orc. You still want to go 1 piece swift because you're nowhere near max, really. You don't have major or minor speed. Stamsork is going to run circles around you still, so you want that 1 piece swift. That's going to keep that right there. It's going to keep you alive. It's also going to help you get kills because people can't get away from you. I did weapon damage enchantment there, 1 piece infused weapon damage enchantment, and then robust stam recovery on 1 piece because I wanted my regen to be a little bit better. And remember, you do need a high base of regen to take advantage of the passive 20% regen. That's just a percentage. You need a high base to get that percentage to look good. And yeah, I went 2 maces for the penetration. Penetration's really important. And Ravaging backbar powered for the increased heal. You want that powered for sure. Okay, and someone else was telling me they were using Band of Malakat's Brutality. That's a no-no because, like I said, the 1 passive increases your crit damage done, so taking away all your crit damage is just bad. You definitely want crit. It's really important. In fact, pump up your crit. Maybe go Thief. I'm sitting right now on my front bar. I've got 33.9% crit, which isn't that much. But if I get, when I hit this ability, my Biting Jabs, it increases my crit by quite a bit. Gives me major savagery. So you don't need to pop any potions that have major savagery. You're always going to have that from Biting Jabs. And that means you can use a potion like here's the ones I use. I use the immovability, health, and stamina. That's what I use. And if I'm not I'm using these. Essence of Speed, giving me Major Expedition, Major Brutality, and Stamina. The speed is really nice, and the stamina is a must-have. You saw me pop the Detect potion fighting that Nightblade. That had Major Savagery, which I didn't need, and just the Stealth Detect, really. So all I benefited from really was the Stealth Detect for 15 seconds, which was unfortunate. I didn't have the stam from the potion. Benefit to the Nightblade. Yeah, so Artaeum Takeaway Broth is definitely the food you want to use for this build. It's the way to go. Yeah, and you can go Werewolf on this build if you want. You can do Werewolf, but you won't really take effect. You won't really utilize the Ravager, I don't think, on a Werewolf. Not sure about that. I don't know what effects Werewolf has to debuff. I can look into that later. You gotta debuffing the enemy's resist gets that stack of Ravager proc. Let's see. Here is the build. That's what it looks like. So you can pause this video, take a look at it, and in great detail you can see everything on this build. You can see the whole shebang. Champion points, equipment, active effects that I've got. There's, yeah, that defensive scroll bonus 1 you're seeing from Cyrodiil, that's just 2% resist that you're seeing. And I'm unbuffed. This is unbuffed on the front bar. And here is what back bar looks like. Here's stats for the back bar. No changes, unbuffed. There's all the champion points, everything. Okay, now, I was going to say this. Someone else is using, instead of automatons, they're using the deadly set. I want to go out and get that because it looks just as good, if not better, than automatons. It's probably really close, but the deadly set increases the damage of your bleeds and channeled abilities by 20%. So that would be your... I don't think that's a bleed. I don't think caltrops would count, but I'm not sure. That would definitely buff rending slashes, and it would definitely buff biting jabs. It would not buff empowering sweep, binding javelin, or power the light. All of which those things are, I mean, this is your execute. If you have ult up, that's your execute. It's really good for deleting people. Javelin is good damage. It ignores all of the enemy's resistance. And it's a great CC, but I wouldn't use that for like executing someone. Just jabbing people to death works to execute. And you can double cast this. If you know you've already put some damage on the guy, you can cast this before the 6 seconds is up to immediately proc all that damage and get it to pop. If you want to, you can execute someone like that, and it'll hit them at range, even if they're dodging. That'll just pop. Yeah, it's great. Also, jabs hits people while they're dodging. Sweep hits people while they're dodging. So, like, you jump on a Nightblade, you knock him over, and hit him with empowering sweep. He gets up, he tries to dodge because he's low and he thinks he's gonna die. Sure enough, yeah, he is gonna die because you're gonna sweep and it's gonna hit him anyways, and he's gone. He's done. Next target. It's amazing for taking out Nightblades and other squishy builds, just like you saw me do. When that guy hit me, I was mounted on my horse. I didn't have my buff up and wasn't prepared really. Wasn't the best, but I've seen better days. Still works though, as you saw. It still works. Let's see. There's nothing I'm missing here. You've got it all. You've got it all. Orc, Artaeum. Yeah. Enjoy.